So typically when you do gain staging, you need to manually look at your mix. You might pull up some of these meters and look to see where the levels are hitting on average, targeting something around -18. You kind of have to go track by track. And if you notice, if you have a file with a bunch of MIDI, you can't actually use Logic's built-in normalization function. So normally if you have audio, you can kind of select it all. You go to functions, then hit apply or normalize region gain, individual tracks, peak, and then a target value. But the problem is it'll only do that for the audio files. So one easy way to get around this is to select everything. It's kind of a silly workaround. And then export everything as an audio file, so all tracks as audio files. Turn off any normalization, 24-bit, and then just dump it into a temporary directory. So I'm going to do Command-Shift-N here to create a new folder, call it temp. And that's in my music, logic, temp subdirectory. I'm going to export that there. So now that that's exported, we can double check. And here, logic, temp, and then you see all the tracks here. So now what I'm going to do is actually create a new project. Don't close, so leave that one open. Just create a dummy software instrument, which we're going to delete later. And then we're going to actually just dump all these files in. So Command A to select them all, and then we'll drag them in, create new tracks, change project, and wait for those to load. So now we can delete this dummy instrument that we added. Now what we can do, since these are all actually audio files, is we can select them all. So Command A to select everything. Go to Functions, Normalize Region Gain, and then actually apply here, at least the analysis part, to understand how to move the gain. So when you hit apply, it'll run its little algorithm. Might take a while. And then once it runs, what we can do is actually click on these, and if you expand the region, it'll show what gain value it's set for each of these. So as I scroll down, keep an eye on this gain number. It's going to change. So -7.1, -5.4, 3.2, 1.4. And so now what we can do is actually use these as a reference. And so I can move this window over here and go back over here. And for example, for lead vocal, I can now go apply some gain to it. So I can, to do that, you go to the audio effects area, add in a new one. It's under utility, and then gain, and just added stereo. So now I can just go down the list and do -6.8, and then do the same thing here. I could add, see, -7.1. And so on and so forth. And now you can go down the entire list. Obviously, for these ones that are already audio, you can actually just run the function. All of the MIDI down here, we can take a look and see how that changed. So that's what you really need to do this for, is not for the audio, but for the MIDI. So we can take a look at Caribbean Piano here, which is this one. And you can see it's chosen -9.9 as a gain value. So what I can do now in Caribbean Piano is go select gain, stereo, and then -9.9. That's one easy way to go about having Logic automatically calculate the values to set your gain at for gain staging.